let's make sure that everything works before we move forward. So let's go ahead and let's run this and we'll take a look. So ready, and then set, 2, 1, go. All right, and it didn't quite say go. So let's go and let's investigate why. So what we'll do is we'll say less than or equal to 0 because we are setting the placing timer var. All right, so we'll make sure that they're all less than or equal to, and I believe there's one more that we have to set that. Okay, so let's run that again. Getting your if statement logic correct is something that's super important, and a little bit of practice makes it work. All right, go. That actually looks pretty good. All right, so that's obviously too big. All right, and collect orange blocks here. All right, I kind of like where this is going, but we need to go and kind of restart that here. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So it probably has something to do with the way everything's working here. So let's stop it and run it again. And sometimes the simulator crashes, but looks like we're good to go. So ready, set, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, 0, and there we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, so not bad. Let's take a look at a couple of things. This go is a bit too much. Let's make it 150, so that will bring it down. And make this maybe 130. Okay, so the set and then the go is 130 here. Place blocks is too big, so maybe let's make that 80. And the only problem here is that when it says collect orange blocks, it's setting up a bit too late. So what we can do is we can actually just put that outside of the countdown timer. Okay, and before we move, let's try 40. I think 40 is looking good, but I do like the switch. And I should tell you why it does work, and I'll get back into this in a second. Set 3, 2, 1, go. And this is where we'd place our blocks. 2, 1, go, and then collect orange block. Okay, 1, perfect. Yeah, so that's actually starting to look out pretty good. Place blocks is just a little bit too big, so I'm actually just going to pull that down to 75. Now, this is all working out fairly well, and this timer is, kind of important, right? So we got ready, set, 2, 1, go, and then we're going to, place the blocks as much as we can. Then we have to collect only the orange blocks. All right. And the reason why this works out is that this is an off black, and off black plus off white plus any color is a winning color combination. And I always say that one of the biggest things I notice about amateur game developers is that their color scheme is just not thought out correctly. And I always like to go on the simple side because if you want to be a lone wolf or a lone star developer, whereas it's just you and a computer, I highly recommend that you make things simple. It's just the way it works here, okay? So let's go ahead and let's add in our placing logic, and we need to hop up all the way to our touches began here. Let's make some space for some extra functions because we're going to need them, okay? So first things first is we have our 4 touches, and we're going to add in a function called function, and we'll call this we can say, for example, correct or is being placed spawn blocks. Okay, and that looks out pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's add that in here. So we'll also say that we'll call this is being placed spawn blocks. And we can put everything in here. We can say if is being placed is double equal to true. So if we're in that game state, okay, we're going to go to spawn block 0 and spawn block 1. Okay? And then we're going to say, for example, we need to update the score. So we're going to say score is equal to score plus 1. And we'll add in a function. We'll say update score. And in here, we're going to say LBL score.text is equal to, we'll say score. We'll say score. And of course, we're going to update score. Okay. So what we could do is we could actually set this up in different functions here. Okay. And if we pull out the is being placed and we add it in at the bottom here, okay, we add it in here. If is being placed is equal to true, it will only call that function, just like that. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we can say if is collecting is double equal to true, then we're going to say, we'll add in a different function to handle this here. We'll say function, we'll call this is collecting logic or node logic. Okay. And then we'll call is collecting node logic here. Okay. So we've set everything up here, and we'll deal with the node logic in another tutorial.